everyone. Thanks for watching our live today. Marvy is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking all about motherhood, pregnancy, birth, these amazing children that are coming in. I'm so excited to have her because she has had very easy pregnancies, births. She's been free birthing. She has 3 kids of her own. And this is the start of the conversations about bringing to light more easeful, joyful pregnancies and births, and what happens when you prepare yourself for these children. So we are super excited to have Marvy on, or Maria Victoria. And just 1 second, we'll get here on here. 1 minute. Let me get her. Hello.
Aloha. How are
Aloha.
you, Sarah?
I am so. How are you?
Good, good. Just did some work here on the land, scooped out our lagoon because we have a lot of royal poinsettia that are falling, and they're beautiful,
Ah,
but if they kind of float down to the bottom, then they can kind of create a little algae, so we try our best to keep it clear here on the sanctuary. So
oh, amazing. Are you still in like near Miami?
yeah, so I'm in South Florida, in
Beautiful.
Homestead in the Redlands. Have you been before?
I have. When we lived in Florida, when we first connected, I can't believe we connected like, what was that, back in 2021, something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Was it in South Florida here?
Yeah, I think it was in South
Oh.
Florida. We only actually connected on the phone. Remember, like I put a post out about the land that we bought there and about having people
Mm.
come and join us. And we messaged because we just had so much in common and just a very like-minded family and friends. So it was really,
Mm.
really wonderful to speak to you. And I'm so glad that you guys are there and enjoying yourself. It's a good space.
It is a really good space. It's only women here on the property other than my 2 boys. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. We
wow.
have 1 male cat, but the other 2 cats we have are female, and then we have 2 female dogs that are not mine. They're the landowners, so.
Oh, hello. Sorry, you were cutting out a little bit. That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. I was just saying that it's all female here, other than like a cat that we have. That's not mine, but.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you for coming on here today. I'm just
Yeah.
so excited to be able to have a conversation with other women and other females, especially you who've had, easeful pregnancies and births and really taken to
Mm.
heart that preparation process and what it means to like coming in to like motherhood and really spread that message of what pregnancy, birth, and even motherhood can be like, and breaking those norms of pain, of suffering. And this is like the most awful thing, like everyone says, like, what is their worst fear? And they're like, it's childbirth, right?
That
And
was mine.
it's
I was terrified before,
right.
like, being educated about what it could actually be like. It wasn't until I read the hypnobirthing book and with our midwife, because we didn't have a midwife for the first born, and I was reading of how like women in Africa will literally just go about their day and then do their chores, and then all of a sudden they feel something moving, like, it's labor, and they
Yeah.
just bear themselves against the wall, squat, and they have their baby, and then that's when everyone comes. It's kind of like the matriarch of like the elephants, for instance. I don't know if you've ever
hmm
seen an elephant birth, but they
I,
just
I
hold the
haven't
space.
personally, but I would love to if you want to share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so basically what they all do is they just create a circle around the mother who's giving birth, and they don't say anything. They don't really want to,
Mm,
make a big noise, especially if there's predators around, but with their bodies they create a wall. And then once the mother has given birth to their calf, they're so triumphant, and they like blow
mm.
their, trunks, and it's really beautiful. They're super celebratory, and then they tend to the mother. Like, you'll see it if you ever watch some videos of it. There's like some videos on YouTube of it.
Wow.
really, really beautiful.
Yeah, I wanna watch that because that sounds really magical and something that we could as humans learn from, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
which I think that it's in our natural instinct to come from that. And I would love to kind of like hear about your story, hear about, you know, why you decided to even have children, like what brought you into that space of wanting to be a mother and then conscious conception and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, actually, all my children were quote unquote unplanned. I actually knew that I'd always be a really great mom, but I didn't want to be a mom. Kind of like the whole like feminist brainwashing, like, oh, you can be independent. They're gonna hold you back from your dreams, and they're also,
Mm,
it's just like a lot of responsibility. But then the pregnancy happened. I was really devastated because we weren't married, and I just thought like life had to be in this certain order. Of course, like that comes along with like societal conditioning and what
right.
we think to believe is the right way, where there's no real right way, especially with how our world is today. It's just like what works for you. And so after getting through that hump, I was just like, you know what? I'm so scared of giving birth and like I don't want to do it. But then I was like, how can I turn this like fear and, around this whole pregnancy and liberate myself from it? So I knew I didn't want to go in the hospital because growing up, we never went to the hospital for anything. My dad's like, you're not going to get your arms broken. Luckily, that never happened. And my mom, being from the Philippines, she always had natural like home remedies. If we had a fever or anything, there's just like
Hmm.
fresh orange juice with garlic, and you chug it down. So, and it kind of grew up not really caring to go to the hospital unless it was an absolute emergency.
Mm,
And so with that kind of mindset, I was just like, I don't want to be on my back. I don't want to be in a bed that someone
ah,
potentially died in the day before. And we found a midwife that felt right for us at the time. And we had a home birth. And honestly, I was like really empowered to try to give birth before she arrived. But because I was reading about like how you can, like, you don't need anyone to be around you. And
mm-hmm.
so the birth ended up being 16 hours long. She said I was fully dilated at like halfway through, so hour 8. But she just told me that because I felt like I needed to poop, like that was just the baby that I was feeling. But really, it does feel like the biggest poop of your life, and like you just release, and it's like I had an orgasmic birth all
Did you
three
really?
times. Yes.
Whoa, so what did that orgasmic birth feel like? I'm obviously you could say orgasm, but was it like, can you describe what that word means? Because I feel like it's being used so much.
Really? Yeah. So I didn't
Oh,
really know what it
you're
was at the
cutting out,
time
honey.
until I went to my. Oh, sorry. Is this better now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I didn't really know what orgasmic birth was until I went to my doula training after I had my second born, who was born in the Philippines. And I was
Mm,
so ashamed that it happened because it happened like both times. Actually, it happened all 3 times.
amazing.
um, yeah, and it's such a relief. Like it's no joke and no walk in the park, especially the first time around because I wasn't fully plant based at the time. I was still having like fish and like cheeses at the time when I was pregnant with my first, and so it was a longer labor. And but when I finally like got to the point of having to uh, push him out, it didn't feel emotional. It just felt sensational. Like I couldn't control that sensation. And I was like ashamed to talk about it. I just was like, okay, I don't, you know. And then it wasn't until my doula training, after my second born was with me, that I learned about orgasmic birth. I was like, oh my gosh, it happened to me both times. And yeah, so I had an incredible birthing experience in the Philippines, where my mom is from, in my grandmother's house, and we were trying so hard to find a midwife or one of my cousins who would be an RN to kind of assist us at that
Yeah.
time, and we couldn't find anyone. They like really frown upon it. They're like, oh, it's kind of like a poor thing to do, because like it happens often, like free births happen often. They're not labeled
Right.
that, of course. But it's because people are too like poor, they live in the mountain, and like it's too much of a hassle to go to the birthing center because they live too far away or they don't have a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so my kid's father was like, do you just want to do this ourselves? Because we were just exhausted from like going to the city, which was 3 hours away from us,
Mm-hmm.
and like trying to go to different birthing centers. And they're just like, no, we can't like go to your place. I'm like, well, I had a home birth the first time around. Like, why can't I do it again? And then so he was
Yeah.
just like, do you want to do this ourselves? And I was like, yes, thank you for asking me this. Because it matters, the team matters. And so, and with that support, because as long as you feel good in your body, you're paying attention to your energy, and
Mm.
just like eating as clean as possible, obviously, and you feel love, support, and trust, and
Yeah.
everybody understands that vision that you want to pursue while giving birth, like everything just aligns so
Mm.
well, and you can have an enjoyable birth. So my second born was born in the Philippines with all my cousins. They all had a role. My auntie was there. She
Mm.
just passed away a few days ago, so I'm going to be
Mm.
visiting her in the Philippines. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, I put up a fundraiser just because it's kind of like last minutes for the moment, mom with 3 kids. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, so I'll share that too if anybody's interested in contributing to that, because there's funeral funds, and then obviously the flights. But I have a bigger vision in the Philippines because we have over 100 acres. I want to have a regenerative eco village, yeah, with a permaculture
Beautiful.
design nonprofit for families to get back on their feet, to turn their passions into profit, and learn
Mm.
about diving into their dharma. So that's like going to
Wow.
be a 5-year journey. That's like my 5-year goal.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So yeah, everybody had a role in the Philippines. And my aunties were there, my cousins were there, and we literally they were picking up buckets from our community well, because we have a community well that like everybody is welcome to. They just open the gate and they like bathe there, they wash their clothes, their dishes, or they just bring back water to bring to their home. And
Mm.
it's been ongoing since my grandfather adopted the land way back
Wow.
when. So yeah,
Wow.
that was such an empowering birth. And so I ended up writing about it like right after my son was born, like a day or two later. I wrote about it in a Tumblr blog, and then I shared it on Facebook, and it blew up.
Mm.
I was really surprised. It blew up in the sense where I was getting asked by other moms to assist them for their birth, for their postpartum, and I'm like, I'm not want to be I don't want to be liable for y'all. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I trust my body, I know myself, and so I just felt like it was such a calling. Because I was getting like called into the work time and time again. No,
Right.
it's like the harder I said no, the harder the calling was, and so I surrendered, and then finally did a training in Brooklyn, New York, and then I started working for an agency right away in the hospital.
Mm.
But now I solely focus on home births, and will hold space for free births as well.
Oh, how beautiful. How beautiful. What amazing. I love that you said like it just kept on coming harder and harder until you really listened to essentially your dharma. And it sounds like going back even to the Philippines is like a full circle of that birth experience to share your dharma even more. And what I love is that these children really push that. The children that are coming in, our own children, when we have them, when we birth them, how we birth them, it really changes who we are. Can you talk a little bit about that transformation? Because I know a lot of women, they're afraid of like, what's going to happen to me? How am I going to change? There's a fear around that too. And so, can you describe a little bit about your experience of going from like maiden to motherhood?
Yeah, so honestly, it was something that I didn't really conceptualize at the time, and now looking back at it, that that transition definitely needs to be supported, with your local community, with your like really core
Yeah.
people, and and I realized this after becoming a doula and hosting mother blessing way ceremonies. And
Mm.
it's something that is not done. Like we have baby showers, but it's like focusing on the baby bump and focusing on like, you know, gifts
The,
and things
yeah,
that you don't probably won't really need. And yeah, it is such a meaningful and important rite of passage for mothers. And if anybody is expecting, I highly recommend finding someone who can facilitate a mother's blessing way ceremony, just
mm-hmm.
because, yeah, I feel like we're so alone in that transition.
Yeah,
And we can get lost in it so easily, and then we kind of lose ourselves through that. But kind of having that like rite of passage and having that sisterhood, knowing that they have your, you know, they have your back, and them hearing them, like hearing your grandmother, hearing your aunt, hearing
right.
your fellow sisters like give that blessing and that support like vocally in a circle is so powerful. And I feel like we just like write notes and play bingo
Yeah,
games like
yeah,
during like
yeah,
baby showers, and it's just like this is not like really connecting. It's like connecting on a superficial level, but like really getting to the heart of it is like nourishing that mother to be, and nourishing that person who um, is not going to be that same person after the
yeah,
baby is born.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And did you have blessing ways for yours?
No,
For your,
that's, yeah, I
we
didn't.
need to give
No.
you one.
I know. You're gonna make me
Oh, oh. Do you,
cry. Oh
oh.
my gosh, I so badly like want more kids. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I can tell. Oh, you
Yeah.
will. You will. You absolutely will. I love
I'm
that
like, I
you.
want six more. I love my kids so much.
Oh, and
Yeah,
where
I
are
want
your
like a
kids?
village of my children.
Yeah. Oh, I love that because, I feel the same way. It's like having children is like the most special thing, the most empowering thing, I feel like the most selfless thing that we can do for
Yeah.
humanity is bringing forth. And when you do it in such a loving way. And was there any like preparation that you did even through your pregnancy that you think that benefited or helped you have your orgasmic births? Like, was there anything, or it just happened?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I've always been such a lover of movement. I was a dance teacher for 10 years. I was a gymnastics coach.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I just think movement has always been such a foundational practice of mine. And even if you're not like a CrossFit athlete, like do something that feels good to you, like climb a tree, you know, on a daily basis, like, you know, just go for a swim as much as you can. You know, and I don't think fitness has to be something where it's like, oh, I need to get my workout and I need to be like go to the gym, and it shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel like something that really excites you from the inside
Right.
out. And so I just think movement had a lot to do with it. And every pregnancy and every labor became more easeful. I never had morning sickness. Yeah, I had a little bit of nausea one day when I was pregnant with my first, and then
Mm,
it never happened again. I didn't even like
wow.
vomit or anything, and I even had acid reflux, but that's because like I was eating some like healthier junk food, and but then like as soon as like I kind of cut that stuff out, it like went away, you know.
Mm,
And
mm.
I did have acid reflux as a kid, and was actually on a prescription for it,
Oh,
but like
wow.
from age 8 all the way to like 18, because 18 I saw the documentary of Super Size Me, and that's when I was like, I'm cutting out all fast food.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And so that you were eating healthy, you were doing lots of movement. And was there any
Mm-hmm.
like mental or emotional preparation? A lot of people, like you said, do hypnobirthing or like
Mm-hmm.
like for me, for instance, I didn't really go through that process for my second and third when I had two pain-free ones. And it just kind of like there just wasn't pain. It just didn't happen. You know what I mean? But I
Mm-hmm.
definitely felt pain in my first one when
Mhm.
I was, I was very acidic. I had, years
Mhm.
of junk food and,
Mhm.
even though I was, primarily plant-based, I still was like congested, which I think was just so
Yeah,
creating the muscles to have so much tension, the acidity, the inflammation, all the above.
the
So do you think
inflammation. Yeah.
that, yeah, do you think that there was anything else like emotionally that was helping you in that process, or did you have to go through that process actually in the laboring to help you with the pain, or just wasn't there at all?
Um, it just so I feel like I've gone through a lot of pain in my life, so maybe my tolerance is a little higher as well. But the thing is, it's like I think there's a difference between pressure and like a marathon like type of like uncomfortableness and like
Right.
actual pain where it's like jolting and it's like okay, this baby is like not in a right position or and
Yeah.
yeah, like a needle like penetration pain, like where it's like, okay, this is like I feel like I'm gonna die. So I
Right.
think a lot of that can be avoided with movement, with proper nutrition, and that doesn't um, cause inflammation. And
Right.
I will tell you flat out that the births that I've attended where the mothers were plant based versus the mothers who just kind of had a standard diet, was on the healthier side, maybe grass fed, organic,
Yep. Yep.
whatever have you. The mothers who have had a plant based diet by far had a more enjoyable birth,
Mm.
um, and an easier delivery altogether. Like it was just it's night and day. And the
Wow.
recovery time is incredibly different too. Like the moms who are a little more acidic with their diet, it's
Yeah.
definitely they have a hard time. They're more tired. They just like they don't feel as empowered as like the mom that's like on it with like her health,
Yeah.
physically and mentally, spiritually.
Yeah, yeah, I can attest to that, man. I felt like a
Mhm.
slug, like just like a big old bear, like just trying to give birth. And I had so, for me, like the laboring was so painful, that it was my baby was posterior, I will tell you that, which
Mm.
is,
Yeah,
I had to flip her. Once we did the flipping, then I was able to be released from that pain. But that pain was also holding so many keys that like
yeah.
I wasn't addressing, at that time. It was
Mm. Mm.
like, and I remember when I was in that process, my child was like, I went in and I'm like, why is this happening? Why are you posterior? She's like, because you have so many expectations. You have all your desires and your wishes of how you want, but I want something different. And I had to just
Mm.
surrender to like her, what she needed versus like what I felt was needed. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
and I think that was such a big lesson in motherhood in general. It was like, I'm going to give you a lesson through pain so you can understand that it's, you have to allow your child to be who they are, and not
Yeah.
to expect them to be anything but who they are, and
Mhm.
and that causes pain to us when we create that upon them, like those expectations,
Yeah.
and then when you let it go, like, like you said, you start cleaning up yourself, you start preparing your womb and your body and everything, you can have easier times, and I definitely, being plant-based and raw, primarily high, well, I was fully raw for the last two, like it
Wow.
was so different. And I love that you said about
Mhm.
the postpartum, because people don't talk about the postpartum so much as they talk about pregnancy and the delivery aspect, but the postpartum, like being able to do things postpartum, like how is that postpartum for you, and what have you seen for the women that you've supported? Because you talked about it a little
Mhm.
bit, but do you have any more like
Mhm.
details what that looks like?
Yeah, so postpartum, my go-to postpartum thing for all three of my babies was to get them to um, eliminate through communication. So EC, I practice
Mm-hmm.
elimination communication. It's like right off the bat, let's get this baby to like nurse and
Yeah.
breastfeed, and then like let's pay attention to their subtleties, and let's get them over the sink when we notice there's like a little movement, and make the sounds of and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
turn on the water, get their feet nice and cold, and then they they want to go to the bathroom. Yeah, so I did that with my first and my third during postpartum, and they like took onto it like that. But I think because my two first children, my two boys were so close in age, it was harder to pick up on those subtleties because I was still nursing my firstborn. He was
Wow.
only 17 months old. So, and we tried everything besides formula because I'm like, I'm not doing formula. And so he just wasn't ready. And so I nursed the both of them for 11 months straight. And
Wow.
that was, it was beautiful. It
How,
was also very challenging, especially like moving back from the Philippines to New York in the middle of the winter. At one point we had sunshine, fruit, and children visiting, my cousins just wanting to check up on me, doing things without even having to ask. They're like, oh, she needs to eat, oh, she needs more
yeah.
water, oh, she just needs a massage, she just needs me to cuddle with her and nap with her,
Mm,
she needs me to hold the baby, like, you know, like I'm like, I didn't even need to ask, and I was just like, oh, this is like normal, right? I'm like, this is
right.
like how life should be. And I grew up visiting and seeing that like village support like at firsthand, and I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed. And in a way, people will say, oh, that's like spoiled, you know, that's like,
Right.
that's, you're spoiled. It's like, no, this is like how it's supposed to be. And being in touch with that and in tune with that, and then going from that environment back to New York, I had really bad postpartum depression because
Mm,
we didn't have
mm,
sunshine, we didn't have local food anymore, and we also I didn't have that same village. Not that it
mm.
has to look the same, and I'm thankful for the support that I did have, but it wasn't enough, especially nursing two children, you know, and
Right.
I felt like no one checked up on me. It's just like a different culture, you know,
Yeah.
and it was rough. It was rough. I don't know how I made it through at times.
Yeah, no,
Be quite
it's
honest with you.
that's difficult. And to be able to not, like you said, going from the Philippines where, like that's culture. I know in a lot of cultures outside of the US, they do that. It's like my friend who had her children in India. She's like, I didn't make one single thing for the first 6 months. Like she was being pampered and taken care of. And just like you said, they take the baby when you need it. They already knew what you needed before without you even telling them,
Yep. Yep.
and
Exactly.
I think people, women are missing that right now. They're being able to miss. And then
Yeah.
you were breastfeeding two children at the same time. I mean, that's no joke. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like you've got one baby who needs it all, and then you got another one who's just like, pulling on your nipple and biting you, and doing the Olympics on you, right? I give you props, and I know a lot of other women do the same thing. So it's like you're truly like came through it all. And like, where did you guys go from New York? Like, did you decide to like go move to like another village setting, or like what was your hopes after that?
Yeah, so I just knew I wanted to be in a tropical environment. I love fruit so much. I've loved fruit since I was a little kid,
Oh,
and I didn't love durian until my daughter was born. So, and I grew up like in the Philippines, visiting the Philippines, and like smelling that one of my cousins had brought durian. I'm like, who's bringing durian? Like, get it out of here! I'm like, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, I love durian so much.
yeah.
So yeah, our transition from New York was a long one. So we ended up getting pregnant with our third
Mm,
whilst being in New York. And then I was just like, okay, it looks like this is going to be another like fall baby. It's going to be cold here. I do not want to give birth when it's cold. I do not want to be isolated in the
mm-hmm.
middle of winter, you know, and
Yeah.
feeling like I don't really have the support that I really need. So I'm like, I was looking up some intentional communities in Hawaii, and we didn't end up at one, but we did live in a place where there was people who like understood that, you know, our neighbors. So yeah, we ended up moving to Hawaii. I gave birth to my daughter. It was a 4-hour labor.
Wow.
And I was in denial. I had spicy jackfruit tacos that night. That's what initiated it. So we were celebrating our son's third birthday that night.
Mm,
So we were like
mm,
out and about in Hilo and just like enjoying the day. The day before, we went to the farmer's market And then we went to Kahena for like the beach where there's dolphin pods, and I was like, it would be so nice to give birth here because I want a dolphin assisted birth.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, but the waves are so rough there, so I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like risk it, you know. So, and then that day, I remember people were like, oh, when are you due? When are you due? I'm like, well, I think today, because it was that day was the 18th that like I had like calculated my estimated due date. And then she came the day after, which was my son's birthday. She made it like 22 minutes before. It was 11:38 in the evening, and I had spicy jackfruit tacos and Hilo, and they were so spicy. Like all I wanted was fruit and spicy food. I don't know why, but I was just like, that's all I want. I'm like, I don't care if we'll add like peppers to fruit, but I just like, that's all I want.
Amazing.
I was like addicted to both things. And so I ate those spicy jackfruit tacos, and I just remember every single bite, like I had to like do it quickly or else I wouldn't be able to eat it because I would hiccup too much. And then I would start to hiccup so much because they were like on a scale of like 1 to 5, it was a 5. Like, and I was like, oh, I started to hiccup, and then like I felt like Braxton Hicks, you know, and my practice surges, and I was like, oh well, maybe it's nothing, because with my boys I had practice surges for a month straight before they were born. With this one, I had a practice surge a week before, and then that night, then that was it. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I have another month because, like, you know, I'm not getting like the surges like normal. But then we were driving back in the jungle. I'm like, can you just drive a little slower? Like after, like, because I could feel every route. I was like, slower, please. And then my kid's dad was like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I just need to take off all my clothes, light some candles, and go to bed, because I think it's going to be over by the morning, you know? And then he's like, well, I think you're in labor. I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, okay, maybe I am. He's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, I want you to set up the birth tub, and I want you to take a shower. Because he wasn't smelling the greatest and stuff. He wasn't plant-based at that time, so he was like reeking. I felt bad because he was so offended, but it was like making me actually feel nauseous because I didn't experience nausea at all like throughout the whole pregnancy, and I was like, okay, I need you to like take a shower. So we didn't set up the birth tub. I was getting really close. I think he could tell. He's like, okay, what do you want to do now? I was like, the birth tub. He's like, I don't think we have time for that. I was like, okay. He's like, do you just want to give birth on the bed? I'm like, no, I don't want to do laundry afterwards. So I just like went off the bed onto the floor, put some towels down, literally went into goddess pose and received her. So with my boys, their heads came out first with the sac intact, and then as soon as like their shoulders came through, the amniotic sac erupted. With her like whole body just came out all at once. It was a 4-hour labor. So my first one is 16, my second one was 8, and then like high raw like pregnancy, it was cut in half. It was only 4.
Whoa, that's so cool. And did you have like a lot of contractions? Did your water break? Like what was that process for
No,
your last one?
my
No water breaking?
my water didn't break at all until like they were out, basically.
Whoa. So
Yeah.
there was probably a lot of water that came too, and just like the pressure of the body just amazing. Amazing. I love that you're talking about spicy food too, because that's like one of the things to get people to go into labor is like, go have
Yes.
spicy foods, you know, and that craving of
Yes.
spicy jackfruit tacos and then a bunch of fruit. That's so fun. That is
Yeah.
so fun.
It's funny because I kind of forgot in my doula training that like that's something that, you know, some women will do to get their labor along. But I was always so patient during every pregnancy because I'm just like, every baby has their time. I know some moms are like, oh, I just can't wait to be to not be pregnant anymore. It's been so hard. I'm like out of breath and all this stuff. And it's just like, I enjoyed it so much because I didn't feel like that. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with your movement. Once again, with what you're feeding your vessel, what you're nourishing yourself with. You're feeling nauseous. What the heck did you eat the night before?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, what did you
yeah.
eat that day?
Totally, totally. I know, and people don't correlate that though. They don't correlate what they're eating to their nausea, to their heartburn, and they don't even correlate their emotional stuff. You know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
correlate anything like, well, maybe you're nauseous because, like I always say, the babies are coming in and they're such high frequency, high vibration. They're coming straight from heaven. They're coming into our physical
Mhm.
body, and so they're going to be pushing all the nonsense out. So
Yeah.
oftentimes when we feel nauseous, it's literally like being in ceremony. You're like, I got to get this out so I can receive their love and receive them even more within your own physical body. So,
Mhm.
I want to go a little bit into your actual children. Did you feel like a connection, a communication with them prior to being pregnant? Have you been talking to them? Can you share a little bit about that for me?
Yeah, so not so much prior to being pregnant, but during my pregnancy with my first, I definitely had dreams having a girl. And then
Oh,
even with my second, I had dreams of having a girl. And I'm going to be honest, I was disappointed because I was mainly disappointed because I thought like my intuition wasn't on point, which was odd because I feel like I'm a very intuitive vessel for whatever
yeah,
reason,
yeah,
for
yeah,
many
yeah,
reasons, but also no reason.
yeah, yeah.
um, but also just, yeah, having that girl, to raise would be have been such an honor. And so like by the time like I did have my daughter, I was so grateful. I cried, I
Mm.
never found out, I never had an ultrasound with any of them, never found out the gender. And so I saved a baby girl box for the day that I would have a girl, and it was
Oh,
a mixture of my niece's clothes, my sister's clothes, and just, because what I never knew, like what we never knew, like what, if we were going to have a boy or a girl. Sometimes we would receive like girl clothes, hand me
mm.
downs, or from the first baby shower that I had, and I just kept it in a box just in case, and then she came.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny
Hmm.
how the children, it's like they'll give you hints if they're coming, but you might not necessarily know when. You're like,
Yeah.
okay. I thought like I remember I thought I had because I had two babies coming to me. One was like a female soul and was a male soul, and the
Oh.
male came first. Like I had my daughter
Yeah.
and then the next two were boy boy, and I was
Wow.
like, okay, okay. Like I thought it was going to be the other one and it wasn't. It was like they switched, right? They switched like
Wow.
places, but they were just like telling me
Yeah.
like you can't know everything. And that's what I love about pregnancy and birth is
Exactly.
like it's just like enjoy the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything
There's
is
so much
unex
surrender that
Yes.
needs to happen, and it's such a beautiful lesson. I honestly feel like a woman's highest initiation is becoming a mother, like spiritual
Mm,
initiation. There's no other teacher like your children. There's no other teacher like labor. And there's no other teacher than like really facing yourself, because they are such reflections of us, and they
yeah.
reflect the good, and they reflect like what the heck you need to work on.
Even when that doesn't feel good either, and you're like, oh shit, like he's totally
Mm-hmm.
acting like me. It's such a process. It's such a process.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
just thank you so much for sharing your birth stories and sharing your experiences. And I want to hear a little bit more about like what you're up to now, like how you are continually, obviously you're a doula, but how are you continually supporting people? Are you supporting people through like the lifestyle as well, emotional support? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I usually have some mamas that come to me that want to have a home birth. And so I kind of guide them through the process of what that looks like for them, because everybody is a little different. And sometimes they want to have a birth at a birthing center, and I'm fully on board with that too, because it's a
Mm,
nice in between. I just won't step foot in a hospital just because I've seen enough.
yeah, yeah.
And I've even brought plant medicine into hospital spaces, and they're just like blown away every time. They won't ever give it credit, but they're also like, like
Yeah.
maybe she stopped hemorrhaging because it was just time for her to, or maybe it was like the shepherd's purse or the cotton root that you brought. So,
Mm-hmm.
if someone does want a hospital birth, I will like consult with them and also like have prenatal sessions, whether that is like due to um, their has to do with their diet,
Yeah.
their emotional wellness, and also their physical wellness, and then also creating a space in the hospital because I there you can make a hospital birth feel nice, with the lighting, diffuser, and just like creating a birth plan where
Right.
the vibe is like the most important thing. Like before you step into this room, you make sure that you take a deep breath and leave it at the door,
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
every nurse, with every OB that comes in. So now I just I host mother blessing way ceremonies,
Mm.
um, and I will either travel or they can come to the sanctuary because we have a beautiful lagoon and waterfalls, and we also have a beautiful grand tiki hut to host that
Mm.
space, and obviously like a lot of local food and fruit. And yeah, so the coaching I usually do prior, and then I'm on call from like week
Wow.
37 on, and then I do postpartum work as well. So I do meal prep. It's all plant based. I try to get things as local as possible because I love supporting the local farmers here. I've created a relationship with a lot of them, and I'm
Mm.
super thankful for it because we need to support them now, and so
Yeah. Yeah.
here I host retreats as well. I try to do seasonal retreats just to highlight
Mm.
like what is available next door to us, basically, or on the land too. So right now, we have lilikoi, we have passion fruit,
Mm.
we have chico. Have you had chico?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and
I love
then
it.
mame sapote. This
Ah,
one's
my
almost
favorite.
ready. Yeah. My daughters too. She loves it so much.
Ah.
And she's a fruit girl. Like, oh my gosh, she'll have fruit all day, every day. Same with my second born, who was born in the Philippines. He'll have fruit all day, every day. My firstborn, he's on the autism spectrum, and
Mm.
he does like fruit, but particular ones like mango. He'll have banana. He'll have like a lot
Mm.
of it, and he loves like carrots. He loves the crunchy like vegetables, cucumbers, peppers. He'll have a lot of that
Sorry, just
too.
grabbing the baby. He started waking up.
Oh, hi! What's his name?
Say hi. This is Cristiano
Hi, Cristiano.
or
How are
Babu.
you?
You can call him
Oh,
Babu too. I'm gonna give him a little milk.
oh.
Yeah, have a
So
little
yeah,
milk.
you had two boys after your girl.
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
and then so I had the reverse.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm so grateful because I'm sorry, but boys are hard. Like boys were my boys are well, my second boy is or my first boy is like he's so destructive. He's just like "Rah!" tons of energy, throwing stuff, so he works my patience so much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And my girl's like, "Hi, mom. Do you want to do this?" Like she's so gentle, And my third is like my second boy is just chill. Like he's not hard at all.
Yeah.
But it was. I don't know how I would have felt if I would have had my boy first. So I'm glad that I got eased in with my girl.
Right, and now
You
she can
know?
help you. It's
Yeah.
funny
Oh, that's
because boys definitely have a different energy, obviously, like,
you dropped
and it's beautiful. What's that?
your phone. Sorry, it just froze. So you said boys had and it froze. So what did you
Oh
say?
yeah, so boys definitely have a more intense energy, especially in the earlier stages. And I definitely experienced that, but I also kind of was a tomboy myself, so I'd be
Yeah,
down to play and wrestle, play with them like however they want, go on adventures and be high
totally.
energy with them. And then by the time my daughter came around, it was just like there was a shift with both of them. And it's like they became more gentle. They became just like more
Mm,
present and like wanting to help. And it was really, really beautiful to see. And
mm.
now she's the boss. They're like, we don't want to mess with her. Like, no.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I think it's so perfect because they come in the orders that they have to in
Hmm.
whatever they have to learn for their own life. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm.
I know my daughter needed to like get a little stronger and like stand up for herself. And my son needed to be softer, so he has an older
Hmm.
sister, to like soften
Beautiful.
the edges a little bit. And this
Hmm.
one's like
Hmm.
whatever. Like I'm gonna like go do my thing. Like he's the most chill baby ever. So it's really fun. And I love that you want to have more kids too. So you said you want to have six more
I would. I totally would. I just need to get my eco village in place first in the
in
Philippines.
the
Not that I would live there.
Philippines.
Yeah, not that I would live there full time. I'd probably live there like anywhere between like 2 to 6 months out of the year and like, go between that rotation. But yeah, I want to have more kids for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
not it could happen right away. It could happen later down the road, and I'm open to it. My mom was 44 when she had me, so
Oh,
I'm not
yes.
worried about the whole age thing.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, I think look at Sarah in the Bible. She had him at 80, right? I mean, people
Yeah,
used to live till 900 years old. So anything
exactly.
is anything is possible, especially when your
Hmm.
body's healthy and that
Yeah.
intention and that kid, that baby that wants to come in, it's coming in. It's coming in.
Hmm.
And I think it's like those thoughts that we have when we're like, oh, I'm old, I'm going through menopause, this has to happen. Like you really believe you're going to go through that process and then it
Yeah.
stops. I feel like that's almost like a proclamation of like, stop having children, stop all of this.
Right.
So I think if there, it's not like you can manifest yourself out of it, but like doing the things that you need to slow down that process.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's
Oh,
a study that came out recently, and if you have children after the age of 33, you actually increase your livelihood by like I don't know, something like 35, 36% of like
really?
living a longer life. Yeah, and I think it has something to do with, obviously, like kids can keep you young.
Yeah.
But also I think that has something to do with the stem cells that are
Mm,
produced while you are, creating another
right,
life, and they
right.
kind of stay in you and then they get used in your body.
Yeah, and I love that you're saying this because, I've worked with people before because I do mostly like preparation prior to conceiving, and a lot of the fears that come up with women is like, are they going to take from me? Like, am I going to be depleted, malnourished? Like they see it as, I had one client who was like, she literally saw that if she would have children, this was the thought form, if I would have children, I'm going to pretty much be, all my energy is going to be taken away because the child is going to take my energy you know and I love that you
Mm.
just put a scientific base right there, like, no, actually you're getting stem cells. I don't know if you want to share any of like your thoughts or your feelings on that topic too, because I think it's really important, because I think a lot of women feel that way.
Yeah, I think it's all mentality, but it's also like, man, just with so many things, like you need to have fun with what you were doing, with what is being presented to you, and through that joy and through that just excitement and ecstaticness, it's like you get to be a child again in a sense. Like,
Yeah,
guess responsibility to like make sure that they're safe and make sure that they're like being well cared for mentally and physically. But man, go climb a tree with them, go play with them at the playground, like go hang upside down, like why not, like go run, play tag with them, like. And I think that's like what a lot of moms do, is they like lose that inner child because of like the way society is like built. It's like, no, like have fun with them, like you don't have to do it every time, but
right.
like enjoy the moment, because like they grow up so fast. Like, that first
Mhm.
year is the fastest, and then like you only have 9 years after that until they're just like, oh, I'm doing my own thing,
Yeah.
like I don't. They go
All
so
of a sudden you're
fast.
too cool for school. They're like, okay, mom. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
are your kids like that? I don't know how old your kids are.
No, because I've homeschooled them,
Yeah.
and honestly, like I don't know, they're like so much fun to be around. Like I bring them to a lot of different like spaces with elderly, with
Mm.
kids that are younger than them, to like it's such a big variety, and they just light up the room every single time, and they're like respectful. And I'm not like a gentle parent, but I'm also not an abusive parent, but I believe in primal parenting. Like, my kids are well mannered, they know how to show up, they're responsible, they do chores, and
Yeah.
it took a lot of work to get them where they are, but I'm proud of them, and they're like the most amazing people. And like, I think that's why I want more, because I'm like, holy shit, like, yeah, like, I love being a mom, and yes, I love my kids. It's just they're so delicious.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love it. I love that you said that too about I'm not like the gentle, but I'm also not like abusive, you know? And I think there's like that
Yeah,
middle ground because there's so many people like about like not actually, you know, I don't want to say disciplining, but like when something happens to your kid, like are you okay to say no and not just let them go, you know? And
yeah.
like what does that look like? Because, you know, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people I know with like that was the biggest thing that my son taught me was like I
Yeah,
had to put boundaries and I need to put
yeah,
discipline. Mommy is fun and loving, but that doesn't mean you
yeah,
can walk all over her or other people,
yeah.
you know? And
Exactly.
otherwise they will like just
Mm-hmm.
be, I don't want to say spoiled, but they can be like little spoiled butts, you know?
Yeah. Entitled, like, I'm not gonna raise a-holes. Like, no, like, you're gonna know how to talk to elderly, and they love old people. They're just like, oh my gosh, and they
Yeah.
like hug them. Like, a lot of kids I feel like are afraid of old people. Like, what are you? But I'm like, they're just like asking them questions. They just sometimes they'll just sit in silence and just be like, 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 I
Aw.
just love being around you.
Aw.
But yeah, I mean, the balance is really crucial. Like, they know, like, mom's fun, and as long as like we are like living in integrity, like doing the right thing, and and doing like our responsibilities, like, life is easy. But then they see the natural consequence, like, hey, you're not going to do this chore, we have plans today, and those plans might not happen. That's a natural consequence. I believe in natural consequence, but I also believe that it's our job to set those boundaries so that they can like know that the outside world isn't going to be what it is here. So
Right.
I'm going to implement responsibility for you and hold you accountable. Like, I'm not going to nag you, but I'm also, we're just not going to do the things that you want to do. Sorry. It's not like a threat. It's just, this is what's going to happen, because these are
Yep.
the things that we need to do to be a
Yep.
functional household.
Right. Right. That's so good. Hi, baby. Hey, buddy. And your kids
What
come
a
back
nice
soon.
nap.
I was seeing a post that you had that you're seeing your kids soon. You had a little time away from them and now you get to see them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I FaceTimed them today. So I'm super excited to come for them to come back. We're gonna go to the Springs, and I'm
Mm.
hosting a summer event here at the sanctuary, Aloha Shakti, that I'm gonna be sharing soon. And it's a family fun event. We're gonna do all local fruit and a raw farm to table dinner. We're gonna have
Oh,
qigong, sunrise yoga, aerial
nice.
yoga, breath work, and ice plunge, and then obviously we get to swim and be in nature. It's going to be a 12-hour event, and then we also have a beautiful cave that's like a sound bowl, and so you get
Whoa.
to go in there, and we're only allowed to sing in there, and it helps people just open up that throat
Mm.
chakra, and because it's been so suppressed. People think that singing needs to like look and sound a certain way, but really it's just, what is it that needs to be moved through, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that you're saying that too, because that's a big part of birth, like opening up the mouth,
Mm-hmm.
like and how that's
Mm-hmm.
connected to down there, like if you can really
Yeah.
open up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
good. So good. I
Yeah.
love that you're doing that. And when is that? That's the summer. Do you have like a link
Yep,
towards
it's
that?
August 15th. August 15th. I'll be releasing a flyer tomorrow. So if anyone is interested, you're welcome to fly in. And, we welcome families. We welcome people who are like wanting to feel what it's like to have local food and just
Mm.
feel really good in their bodies. We're probably going to do some tree climbing too, which is
Oh,
super fun. Yeah.
that's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh,
Hmm.
Well, thank
Yay.
you so much for jumping on here today. Thank you for sharing your
Yeah.
story, your light,
It's
your
such an honor.
inspiration, what you're doing, and I can't wait to hear more. Like, I wish I lived not across the Pacific and like so far away, because I would totally go.
Yeah.
That event would be so amazing. But
I know.
yeah,
You
yeah,
should try to come.
we'll all come together. We'll all come together. I think there needs to be another like either like a festival, like a fruit festival, something here in
Yeah.
Hawaii, just to like get everyone out here too, and
Yeah.
just to
Are you on
come
the Big
back.
Island?
I'm on Kauai.
On Kauai. Okay,
Mm,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yay.
I went
Yeah,
to
we
I
almost
went
live
to
in
Big
Kauai.
Island for a little bit, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
My heart was just like Kauai, Kauai. Go back home to
Yeah.
Kauai because I was at Kauai before for 4 years, and then we
Gotcha.
went to Florida, actually Bali
Mm.
and Florida, and yeah, my body was like, nope, you got to go back to Kauai. You fussy?
Mm. Well, I definitely want
Uh,
to visit you
uh, uh, uh,
as
Here,
well.
you want some boo boo doll? You know the drill. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, buddy. Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right, all right. Do you want to say something?
We'll see you next time, okay?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's so good again to talk to you, and I'll be
Yes, let's have
sharing this.
another conversation soon. And I feel like there's to share, and it's such a short amount of time.
I know. More to share, more to share. I love it. And I
Mm.
think women are really yearning for this, is this
Yes,
space.
absolutely.
Oh, and your babies too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm.
All
Well,
right.
so many blessings to you and your family, Sarah.
Yeah,
Thank you
you
so much for
too,
having this
Marvy. Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah,
So
thank
much
you for
love and
coming on.
aloha.
Yeah,
Yay.
you as well, and blessings to you and your family. And to everyone
Thank
that's
you.
watched, I'm sorry we didn't get to answer your questions, but we will, there's been a few questions on here, but we'll do another call for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bye.